The question at the end of the podcast is the same, Murph. What does don't change much mean to you?
It means just start with something small. Just make that first step. Once you do, and once you find incremental change, once you see some change, some positive results, it's going to inspire you to do more, but you have to start. And that was me back in 1991. I just had to start and get on the right path, and you never know where it's going to change you. The other thing is too, like I said, is you don't have to be perfect. You can have an off week, right? It doesn't matter, but you have to get back into what you were doing. Don't let that bad week define the next week or the next 2 weeks. You don't have to be perfect. Just get started and see where it leads you, because especially guys my age now, things can go off the rails awfully quickly if you don't take care of yourself physically and mentally. So that's what I would say.
Hey, this is Buzz Bishop, and you're listening to the Don't Change Much podcast, brought to you by the Canadian Men's Health Foundation. It's a show about how to improve the health and well-being of men and their families with simple lifestyle changes. Our guest today is none other than the regular host of this podcast, Dan Murphy. Now, normally Murph asks the questions, but we've switched mics and dedicated this episode to learn a little bit more about him and what simple lifestyle changes to improve health and well-being means to Murph. Have you ever had a time in your life where you were struggling and your exercise routine helped snap you out?
Well, sure. I think that's a big reason why I do it. I find that if I can't get the workout in, when you go on vacation, you're on vacation, you might not have the facilities, you might not have the time, you're doing different things. So I don't stress on vacation. I might try to get a couple runs in, but if I don't do it, it's nothing I beat myself up over. But I find that if I don't start my day off that way, I don't feel as good during the day. I don't feel like I've accomplished as much. I don't feel like I've set myself up for the day. And if you are committed to waking up and working out, well, then you treat yourself a little bit better at night because you know that morning is coming awfully quick. So it's twofold that way for me. But no question, when I'm working out and I'm feeling good, mentally, I feel much better than the other way around.
You're at the gym for 5. So it's important to you because you make, that's an ungodly hour. What do you do when you're there?
It's just a combination of some cardio and some weights. I think that once you get to my age, they say weights are more important than cardio because you can get your heart rate up doing that and you can gain muscle mass, which you need as you get older. And then I'll try to maybe go for that walk in the afternoon. So it's nothing complicated. I try to change things up every once in a while to keep myself interested. And if you do the same things over and over, your body learns how to cheat those exercises. So as simple as I might be in bed the night before and I might look on Instagram at some different people that are fitness instructors and I'll see something, I'll say, I'll try that tomorrow. So just to keep things interesting, it's nothing complicated at all.
And not with a trainer, you're just pulling it a la carte and just alternating between upper and lower because you can't skip leg day, right?
Well, you would think that I do. If you see my legs, I don't. But yeah, no, we'll work different body parts each day.
That's the whole theme of this, right? Is don't change much. It's like, so you look at it and you've got 3 angles here and you got to knock off 2 of the 3. It's not like you're trying to be a natural Arnold and trying to get to the top. You're just trying to get through life with a smile on my face and keep my machine working as best as it can.
Yeah, and one thing that I've learned, I'm going to say probably even over the last 5 years, is I used to be like, if I don't have an hour and a half, I don't want to do it. It's not a proper workout. It's not doing me any good. Get upset if I didn't have time. Now, if I have a half an hour and I can just take the dogs for a walk around the block, I'm doing it. Or if you have 20 minutes, it's better to do 50 push-ups and 50 air squats and nothing, or go for a brisk walk. If you don't have the time to do what you set out to do because you ran out of time or whatever, life gets in the way, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do what you wanted to do. You can do what you have time to do. And I think that's something that I've learned to accept, especially since becoming a father and having a bunch of other time commitments around that. So I think that's something that I'm much better at now than I used to be.
Do you have any tips for guys on how to get started? I mean, you had a friend talk to you when you were in university and you've kept at it since, but how do you start?
Well, there are a couple of things. More on the fitness side, if you're just getting started, start with a half-hour walk a day. If that's all you have time to do and that's all you want to do, you don't have to, and then you can build from there. You don't be intimidated by weights. Don't go to the gym right off the bat if you're not comfortable. You can get some weights at home. Like I said, there's so many things online now that you can look at with not big weights, so you're not at risk of injuring yourself by doing something wrong. But I would say just start small and build your way up. And then I always found that when you start to see even a little bit of results, that gives you motivation to keep going, right? So just get started. Don't be discouraged if you don't see something after a week or 2 weeks. It might just be that you start to feel like, hey, I can walk for 40 minutes now. I feel good. And I'm not as tired after 45 minutes. And I would say on the nutrition side, there's no secret pill. I mean, if you want to lose weight, you burn more calories than you consume in a day. And I don't, like at the start, it doesn't matter what those calories are, if it's McDonald's, whatever. Don't worry about the nutrition. If you want to lose weight, you burn 200 more calories than you've consumed. Keep track of it. Don't just guess it. Like the MyFitness app is super easy. It's got everything on there. You search for whatever food you had, whatever brand, you put it in. And then once you get that going, then you can learn a little bit more about eating foods and make it more efficient and make you more full, or you can have more food. So just little things like that. If you can start simple by that walk a day and just trying to have a calorie deficit by just a little tiny bit, and then work your way, because you don't have to take a giant step all at once. It's impossible.